different levels, I cannot relate. You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played.
Trump's tariffs have sent the stock market into a absolute frenzy. And those of you all who play on the stock market, you know that recessions tear your pockets up and people will start losing jobs. The price of goods and services goes up. The dollar is not really worth as much as it is anymore, and you losing money. Wages go stagnant. Excuse me. Wages go stagnant. Everything, and that is the problem when you do these things in the first 60 days. Now, Trump was adamant about these tariffs. They're 10% tariffs that went out. Now, some countries got, higher tariffs, and we know what he's doing. He's bringing the pressure on China and all these other countries with these high tariffs. They say that we're the only country in America, in the world, that was not doing tariffs. We were the only country. And Trump is adamant that we want to go back to the way that we did it in the 1800s with these tariffs, because that was the best way to get ingenuity and prosperity and the American dream. And that's what we decided for, right? That's what we decided. That's what y'all voted for. Y'all voted for these 10% tariffs to be going on around the world, crashing the stock market. That's what y'all voted for. Well, some conservatives are pushing back on this because, when you start to do something draconian, there's an election next year in 2026, and you don't want to lose the House a year after you got it and lose the Senate, because then we got split government for the next 2 years and we know nothing's getting done. So let's take a listen to how Trump's tariffs are affecting the stock market and why JP Morgan Chase is thinking that a recession is looming.
Reliance on tariffs to bring wealth into the United States and manufacturing jobs to the American people kicked in this morning, with 10% baseline levies on just about every import coming into the U.S. Far steeper tariffs on trading partners like China, Vietnam, India, and the European Union are set to begin next week. The market's reaction, clear and jarring. The S&P 500 plunging 10% in 2 days.
That is a lot. Plunging 10% in 2 days, that's a lot. But it's not as bad as people think it is. But, it's still bad, though.
Major banks like J.P. Morgan now forecasting a recession this year, even as the president today posted encouragement, saying this is an economic revolution.
I want y'all to read the full statement, all right? I don't believe in just giving out like a little piece of this. He said, China has been hit much harder than the U.S. Hey, not even close. They and many other nations have treated us unsustainably badly. We have been the dumb and helpless whipping post, but not any longer. We're bringing back jobs and businesses like never before. Already, more than $5 trillion of investment and rising fast. This is an economic revolution, and we will win. Hang tough. It won't be easy, but the end result will be historic. We will make America great. So that's the full statement from the president.
We begin tonight with senior business correspondent Christine Romans.
At ports across America tonight, a new reality for the more than $3 trillion worth of goods imported into the country each year. President Trump's baseline tariff of 10% for nearly all U.S. trading partners now in effect. Far higher tariffs, like 46% on Vietnam, 26% on India, and 20% on the European Union, are set to begin on Wednesday. The president's senior counselor for trade and manufacturing today insisting
we're going to have a bullish boom, and the Dow's going to hit 50,000 during Trump's term.
But U.S. markets this week had a decidedly different interpretation. The Dow plunging nearly 4,000 points since President Trump's Rose Garden announcement Wednesday.
That's a lot of points. That is a lot of points. Jeez.
It's our declaration of economic independence.
The market sell-off triggered Thursday, deepening Friday, after China announced it would match the new U.S. tariffs on its goods with 34% tariffs of its own on imports from the U.S. Warning signs of a recession now flashing. J.P. Morgan forecasting a downturn in U.S. GDP for the year that will increase U.S. unemployment to 5.3%.
And that is a number that the Trump administration, you do not want unemployment to rise, because this is if the Democrats are smart, this is a talking point for next year. Ding, 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 ding. This is the talking point. I'm letting you know. The unemployment goes up, you're going to lose the midterms.
And Fed Chair Jerome Powell warning of rising prices to come.
Tariff increases will be significantly larger than expected. And the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth.
President Trump today golfing in Florida, acknowledging the economic disruption his policies are causing, posting, "Hang tough. It won't be easy, but the end result will be historic." His administration now making big promises.
Wages are going to go up, profits are going to go up, and life's going to be beautiful here in America. Trust in Trump.
Yeah, you all can be bullish all you want to try to ease the markets, but right now the speculators are saying something different. And it's clear and obvious that these tariffs this is a repudiation of the Trump administration. And I don't know who's pulling the strings, because we know how Wall Street speculators are. If they start pulling out of the market, then, the recession looms. And what happens in the recession? The cost of goods and services go up. People go to the unemployment line because companies start to lay off. This is bad. With all the layoffs that have already happened, you don't need more people being laid off in this economy. And then you could come out and say, hey, everything is good. Take a look. Look around. Everything is doing what it's supposed to be. You cannot face things like that, especially when the markets are tanking. The market is tanking right now. People are going to start pulling their money out. And you can't make money in a market if people start to pull out. And right now, nobody wants to be bullish. Nobody. They're looking for the safe bets. They're trying to figure out, okay, where should I put my money? Should I pull it out? Because this market is funny. Hey, it's a recession bad. We might need this cash. You already got the auto industry getting hit. You got Chevy and Ford and Dodge. They still got 2024 models that are still sitting in parking lots behind gates because they still haven't been sold yet. 2024 models. Brand new trucks just sitting in big fields because they can't even get rid of them. Some of them still got 2023s out there. This is a bad, bad time for the auto industry. This is a bad, bad time for retirement, Social Security. Things are not looking good right now. They are not. And if the Republicans, if y'all are not smart, you will lose the House and the Senate next year, because this economy is what y'all said you were going to fix. This is what y'all were supposed to have been fixing. You said y'all had the plan to fix this, and it was liberals and DE&I and all that stuff. We spending money on all that stuff. And look at what's happening. The market is absolutely tanking. Oh, and when it comes to that DE&I stuff, ask Target how it feels to see your market value getting wiped because your foot traffic is starting to decrease. You decide to turn your back, consumers say, okay, we're going to put pressure on. Before you know it, your door is going to be closing. Shareholders don't like losing money.